most of us are familiar with gallstones. We wouldn't rather not be, but we know what they are, and we think of the gallbladder. But you say that you can get gallstones in the liver? They can form in the liver?
Absolutely. And again, you're right, nobody knows about it, hardly anyone knows about it. And doctors, they don't think about it or talk about it because they claim that they only exist in the gallbladder. And they are right in respect to calcifications, I mean calcified gallstones. And they are the only ones that you can diagnose with ultrasound or X-rays, because that's where, let's say, a sound wave, like an ultrasound, hits the calcified gallstone in the gallbladder. It becomes reflected and creates an image which you can see, okay, there is an obstruction, there is a stone that is like half a centimeter or a centimeter or 2 centimeters big. So that would give you the impression that there is nothing else in the gallbladder.
All right.
But you may have cholesterol stones in the gallbladder too. And they are typically green, they look like leaves that you find outside. And they are pea green and they look like peas and a little bit more deformed in many cases. But they are soft, putty-like, like you touch them and then they start, you squash them and they can break apart. And they, if an X-ray is going through those, it goes right through. There is no reflection.
It doesn't pick it up.
It doesn't see it.
And this is in the gallbladder?
This can be in the gallbladder, but mostly in the liver.
Okay.
Cholesterol stones are typically formed in the liver, but they may also form from the bile in the gallbladder. Now, in some cases, doctors will recognize, let's say, if a person comes with a gallstone attack into the emergency room and they say, well, we have a sludge, like all those green stones, which is bile and these pepper-like or pea-like size stones, green stones, cholesterol stones in the pancreatic duct, and they say, well, you have to operate, you have to get rid of that gallbladder because you may have pancreatitis because of that. So then they operate and they say, well, we got it all. But they don't refer to those stones as gallstones. However, one of the leading research universities, Johns Hopkins University, they give it the name intrahepatic gallstones. That means inside the liver, stones in the bile ducts of the liver. And they are just as obstructive as any other stone, whether calcified or not. And that means once you accumulate them, and you can accumulate thousands of them.
Wow.
Literally thousands of these stones in the biliary tree. That means in the thousands of intrahepatic bile ducts. In those bile ducts, you can accumulate thousands of stones, and they pile up, and they build up, and build up, and they obstruct the flow of bile. That means the normal amount of bile, which is about 1.5 quarts a day, which you're supposed to produce to be healthy.
Okay.
If you make half of it, it's because you have stones building up in the inside of the bile ducts, and they obstruct the bile flow and the bile secretion. And even the cholesterol that the liver is trying to get rid of when it makes it, when it needs to form the bile, it can no longer get rid of it, and it's backing up in the bloodstream. Then your cholesterol levels go up.
Oh,
So the main reason why people have high cholesterol nowadays is because their bile ducts in the liver are clogged up, besides the connection to the heart problem. So again, by giving statins to which destroy the liver gradually, you create more intrahepatic gallstones, and eventually, but you basically suppress the liver's ability to manufacture cholesterol. So it creates multiple problems, both to the liver and to the heart and to the brain and to every part of the body that needs cholesterol. So the intrahepatic gallstones can be held responsible for most health problems. I've not found any health problem or chronic illness that is not related to blockage of the bile ducts of the liver, because when you are not digesting your food well anymore, if you make a cup full of bile, that is not sufficient to digest your foods well. You need the bile to activate pancreatic enzymes. If you make less bile, you're not making enough pancreatic enzymes that are active. You can cause pancreatic damage if you don't activate pancreatic enzymes. These unactivated pancreatic enzymes cause inflammation in the pancreas.
Okay.
You can create diabetes simply by having intrahepatic gallstones in the bile ducts. Type 1 as well.
Oh, all right.
Then you have the hydrochloric acid. How much hydrochloric acid your body can safely produce to digest your food depends largely on how much bile you have made. If you make less bile, the body will already lower its hydrochloric acid production. All of that will diminish your ability to digest your food. You have a lot of undigested food to dispose of, which tends to clog up the colon. You can accumulate 20, 30 pounds of waste matter, old undigested food, usually black, tar-like look to it, in the large intestine alone. And that creates the protrusion, causes low back pain, can cause spinal problems where the intestinal content is pushed against the spine. You can get slip disc, you can get erosion between the cartilages. It causes circulatory problems to the legs.
All
you
from
may
being
get
impacted.
knee problems. You can get all sorts of health problems simply by disturbing the digestive process. The bile is responsible for keeping the peristalsis normal. It's a mild laxative. So it also keeps the probiotic bacteria alive. If you have less bile, you make more candida. These are fermenting bacteria or yeast that can produce a lot of toxins, which can be irritating, and then it creates inflammation in the body. So you can have all kinds of inflammatory problems. Simply, again, bile duct blockage in the liver.